background on me because I think when realtors meet me, they're like, who is this coach? She's not a realtor. Why does she coach realtors? So I come from a background in pharmaceutical sales, which is very similar energy to you guys. You know, the hustle, the living out of your car. In the trunk of your car is signs. In the trunk of my car was drugs, right? But I understand that hustle, that push, and you know, the number game, the goal to keep climbing, 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 selling more. I became the number one rep way back in the day when I was doing pharmaceutical sales in the country for one of the drugs I sold, but it came at the expense of my health and my mindset. And I got really burnt down. I gained 40 pounds. Long story short, lost the 40 pounds, went through that journey, decided to originally start doing health coaching. So I started with holistic health coaching, which then turned into mindset, which then turned into identity and nervous system and high performance. So I'll spare you the intense details, but here we are today. And I enjoy coaching realtors because I enjoy the energy you guys have, and it really matches my energy and just feel like it's a really good fit. So that's just a little bit of background on me. What I find is in coaching realtors and many people, you're always looking for the next strategy, the next tactic, the next thing. I'll often hear, Coach and what could I do? What can I do to get my business to the next level? What can it's and instead of thinking, what can I do? It's more about oh, now I'm all big. I like it the other way.
Sorry,
It's
I wanted to see your pretty face on the big screen.
okay. All right. If you like it like that, it's like, woo. It's more about who are you being. So that's really what we're going to be talking a lot about today. So the first thing I want to dive into with you guys is identity. And this is probably not what you think of when you think of high performance. And maybe, you know, Antoinette, you probably do some of this as well with your volleyball clients, but how often have you said to yourself, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it? Raise of hands. We've all said that. We've all said that. I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. Why is that? It's not just about the new habits or the behaviors. Of course, that needs to change, but without changing the identity behind it, nothing will shift. So, the first thing we're going to chat about is identity. Identity shift actually has four phases, and I'm going to take you through those, not in full depth, but some details. At the end of the day, you'll never become the next level version of yourself if you are attached to an old version. You can't become someone new and hold on to the old. This is a perfect time for you guys to think about, what do I need to shed? What pieces of my identity, and we all do this. I was just interviewed on a podcast a few hours ago, quite early for me, 7 a.m. And she said, what piece of identity did you need to kill to become who you are now? And I said, the fitness coach version of me. Because the fitness coach version of me, she was great. The fitness and health coach version of me, she was great. She made me seven figures. My business blew up, but I outgrew her. But I held on to her for so long because why? Because she kept me safe. She brought me success. So, where in your life are you holding on to pieces of your identity? Because it keeps you safe, it gives you success, it makes you feel worthy. Just think about that for a sec, right? So, there are pieces of our identity that we cling onto so hard because it makes us feel a certain way, right? Until you work on shifting your identity, it doesn't matter what habits, what tactics, what strategies you get. You'll keep reverting back to the old identity that got you here. Does that make sense? Just nod your heads. Perfect. Okay, so let's just briefly talk about the four phases. You may want to jot this down. So the first phase is awareness. Okay, so this is what I take my clients through when I coach them, the four phases of identity. Everyone comes to me in the awareness phase. You can't transform what you don't name. Okay, there are some people though who walk aimlessly through life and they're completely unaware of the habits they need to change, their identity, and so be it. But you cannot transform what you refuse to name. In the awareness phase, this is the identity, what I just mentioned. It's the safety, the belonging, the security, where the ego is keeping you safe for survival. Okay. That's what's going on in that awareness phase. Okay. This is where, if we're going to talk about habits, because, you know, Kuvi mentioned some of you are interested in habits. From this standpoint, your habits are feeling forced. They're feeling very implemented by high pressure because they're not part of your identity yet. Does that make sense? So, this is the first phase of the identity shift. Honestly, the awareness phase is where most people get stuck. They're like, yeah, I know I need to change this, and they keep on going with their life because it feels safe and secure, right? So, that's the awareness phase. Any questions on that, guys? Okay. The next phase is radical acceptance. So many people are aware they need to change certain pieces of their identity, certain pieces of their body or health or life or business, right? But they don't accept it. If we don't accept it, how can we truly transform it, right? You can't embody a new identity if you're shaming the old. And this has happened to me and it's happened to my clients. You're going through the transformation, you're almost making yourself, you're shaming that old identity. It's really honoring it and grieving it. And that needs to happen for you to grow. And this is something that I don't think gets spoken about enough. As you're going through your identity changes in your life, you have to grieve the past version of you. So many of us go from one thing to the next, and we do this in our businesses too. We sell one house, we go to the next, and we don't even celebrate, right? We just go, 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 go. We get to the top of the mountain, then we're like, why am I so unfulfilled? What happened here? Right? That leads to burnout. So everything that I'm saying is woven into all different areas of your life. So I want you to think of it in business, but also think about the identity in other areas of your life as well. In this radical acceptance phase, you have to accept that the current identity you're living in it formed for a reason. There's nothing wrong with it. It got you here. But I'm sure you've heard the saying, what got you here won't get you there. So if you're looking to get to the next level in your business, right? Gary, you're a new agent. You're looking to sell your first home. What got you to this point of passing your tests and going through all that? It's going to require a new version of you to sell the first home and then sell the next and then to increase in price point, right? So we're always evolving and we have to accept that. A lot of people will stop at this point as well and sabotage here. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. Uncertainty, they feel like equals danger. Uncertainty doesn't equal danger. In my opinion, uncertainty, messy middle means you're moving in the right direction. That little inkling of fear, your identity is shifting. You may be afraid to step into the new, but you feel that pull. So that's radical acceptance. So before we move into the next phase, when I say messy middle, it's like I call it that because your new identity is coming, but you're still kind of fighting with the old one. And there's this back and forth, and you could be there in this back and forth for months or years. It really depends on the work you're willing to put in, right? And that's why a lot of people stop because it feels what? Difficult. Growth is difficult. It's uncomfortable. And a lot of people stop because they think uncomfortable, uncertainty, fear, it pings them and they think, oh no, I'm moving in the wrong direction. It's actually that sense of danger, that sense of fear means you're moving in the right direction. Okay. So this is why I call it, the three internal shifts for 2026 is part of this is your identity. When you start to work on your identity, you're going to think less about the strategies and the tactics you need and more about who you're being on a daily basis. Am I being seven-figure ISIS? How am I showing up on a daily basis, right? It's not just about the things we're doing. It's about the identity we're being. So once you get through that radical acceptance, icky phase, where you're like, oh God, I'm accepting this, I'm changing, this is really uncomfortable, right? You're acknowledging what habits, behaviors are no longer serving you. You're releasing them. You're going to move into embodiment. And embodiment is the congruence between who you're saying you're being and what you're doing. Your actions are going to align with your core values. You're operating from a stability. Like remember how in the awareness phase I said your habits are more pressure, more force, more pushy. As you grow, you're operating from stability and self-trust. Does that make sense? Right? We're not having this pushy energy. We trust ourselves more. We know who we're becoming. So that proving and the over hustling doesn't need to be there. Okay? Your boundaries are very strong. So whatever pieces of your identity you need to let go of, and I want you to think about it because I've worked with so many realtors who people please, lack of boundaries, chasing validation, overworking, overthinking, self-sabotaging, all these things. Think about what pieces of your identity are holding you back. And this is why I said in the beginning, I could give you all the strategies, and so could Kubi. We could sit here and give you strategies, tactics, tools, tips, use this AI prompt to do this for your business, but none of that matters if you are not confident in who you are and who you're becoming. Your identity will always snap back to what's familiar. And if you desire to get to the next level in your life, health, body, business, this is an essential part. And this is a part that's often missed. Have any of you here ever heard of identity talked about this way or thought about it like this for your business? No. Oh, well, Antoinette, you don't count. Just kidding. Yeah, okay. But right, it's much needed though, right, Antoinette? Like this is the stuff that moves the needle forward. Whether you're an athlete, whether you're an entrepreneur, this is the stuff that moves the needle forward. Okay, so we get through embodiment. Embodiment is going to ask you to hold the line, right? It's going to test you. Am I going to revert back? Am I not? Am I going to revert back? Am I not? Am I living in full energetic alignment with who I'm desiring to become? Okay. So it's not just about, oh, I have new standards for myself. It's really, am I being this person I've decided to be? Okay. And then the last phase is mastery, which is also called irreversible identity. This is a version of you that cannot be undone. Give you a simple example. When I lost 40 pounds, I've now maintained it for 15 years. I'm in my 40s. I'm in perimenopause. I will never go back to that version of me. It cannot be undone, right? It cannot be undone. The way I show up on social media, at first it was really hard. My identity wasn't tied to being consistent. Now it's like a piece of me. I feel weird if I don't show up. So the way I think of when you mastered a piece of your identity, you feel weird when you're not doing the thing. When I first started meditation, listen guys, I'm type A, I'm from New York, I have a lot of energy. When I first started meditation, I was like, this is so stupid. This is so dumb. I hate this, but my functional medicine doctor told me it was good for me, so I'm gonna try it. It took so much for me to sit there, guys. 2 minutes felt like a freaking eternity. Now, 8 years later, it's a piece of me. I feel weird if I don't do it. So when you think of mastering a piece of your identity for your health, for your life, for your business, that is a mastery. It's irreversible. And like I said, just to sum it up, most people think that they have a strategy issue when they come to me, help me with this piece of my business, help me with that. And it's not that you don't need strategy. You obviously need strategy and identity work, but there's a million strategies that are going to take your business to the next level. Just like there's a million strategies to lose weight. You could do keto, you could do paleo, you could walk, you could lift, you could all the things. But if you're not working on that internal piece, your internal architecture, you're just going to keep reverting back to the same version of you, right? Okay. So that's identity. The second shift for your internal edge in 2026 is your state. Your emotional state and your nervous system are going to dictate your earning capacity. Most realtors don't realize, or I would say most entrepreneurs don't realize how much their nervous system runs their business. They think, once again, it's all about strategy, but this is about your internal edge. I hear a lot of realtors say, I just operate really well under stress. Okay, you can tell yourself that, but your clients can feel it. When you show up and you're flustered and you look exhausted and you can't make decisions clearly because you haven't slowed down or taken a breath, it's coming across in your transactions. Your nervous state really is the COO of your business. Once again, I'll say, I'm not knocking strategy. We all need strategy here. We're all business owners, but there are other pieces that are going to take your business to the next level in a more aligned way. Okay. If you're focusing in a highly dysregulated state, you're going to be reactive. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to make mistakes. Your clients are going to feel it. They could feel the energy over the phone. They could feel it when they meet you. You're going to have high cortisol, which is going to lead to a whole slew of other issues. You want to approach it from a grounded state. How many of you, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's just pull up the chat here, feel like on a daily basis you're operating in a highly dysregulated state? 10 would be the highest, 5 and above, higher. 1 is like, no, I'm completely regulated and calm all the time. 14, Jeff. All right, we got some work to do. Thank you for your honesty. 6, 8, 9.5, Eric. First of all, I want to acknowledge you guys and appreciate your honesty. So everyone is operating in a Kuvi's laughing. He's like, oh, all right, Gary. Love it. Well, Gary, you just started, okay? She's like, I'm good. I'm just sitting here learning. She's like, I just passed my exam. This is the work I do with my clients as well. And when we talk about breath work and meditation, all these things, I want to preface for you guys because a lot of people get really intimidated. Like, oh, like, first of all, you don't need to become Buddha and meditate for 30 minutes a day. Okay, guys? 2 minutes in the morning if you've done nothing will help. How many of you raise up hands when you first wake up in the morning, go right to your phone, emails, notifications, all the things? Anyone who scored higher than a 5 is most likely raising their hand. Yeah, so you're already starting your day in a dysregulated state. Okay, So when we wake up, we're in the theta state. That is like the dreamlike state where we're able to really turn inward, where we're able to stay calm. Our consciousness is like we're not really awake, but we're not sleeping. That is a beautiful time to meditate and turn inward. But what we do is a lot of us go from theta, we skip over alpha, and we go right to beta. Beta is think beta B busyness. That's how we're operating all day long. And that's really dysregulating to your nervous system. So when you start off in the morning, if you could just take 2 minutes, or like Darren said, like a little bit of breathing, and it could be box breathing, guys, the easiest one. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Very simple. And if you're feeling highly dysregulated during your day, say you just closed on a big deal, or you had an annoying client, or it happens a lot in real estate, deals fall through. What happens when a deal falls through? Are you responding or are you overly reactive? You're most likely reactive because you're dysregulated and because you haven't done anything to regulate your nervous system, right? So when that happens, what are some things you can do? You can do box breathing, but even better is inhale and then a long exhale. So inhale for 4 and then exhaling for 8, even 8 to 10 to really get into the vagus nerve to calm your system down. So these are just little tools that you can do anywhere. You could do it in your car, right? Isis is driving. If she feels stressed and she has to go in to show a house, but something just happened in traffic, she can pull over and just do that. That way she approaches the showing or the deal in a calmer state, right? These things sound so like, oh, yeah, not a big deal, but it is a big deal to your internal operating system. And the more you ignore this stuff, oh, I'm just really stressed, or it is what it is. I'm good operating stress. That doesn't mean your gut health likes it. That doesn't mean your brain likes it. That doesn't mean your body likes it. It's showing up. It's showing up. It's showing up on your face. It's showing up in your energy, and it's showing up in your business more than you know. The more you can start to be friends with your nervous system and realize that it really is your state, the state you're in is really the operating system of your business. For all of you that answered, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, whatever it may be, your cortisol is really high, which is affecting your dopamine, serotonin, your brain function, which essentially affects how you feel and how you show up in your business. You are your business. You are your most valuable asset. And without you operating at a high performance level, your business can only grow so far, right? Your business can only grow so far as your identity will take you and your internal operating system. I think, and also I want to clarify when we talk about nervous system regulation, it's not just about, okay, I'm calm all the time, guys. That's not realistic. We're not going to be calm all the time, but it's about, are you regulating? Are you showing up as a leader who is not reactive? You're responding. You're not feeling overwhelmed. Do you guys find that you use the word overwhelmed a lot? My realtor clients, yeah. You know why you're overwhelmed? Because you're not staying present. People get anxious and overwhelmed because they look too far into the future and they take themselves out of the present. I'll have clients, oh my God, my to-do list is so long. I have so many things. I can't think. And I'm like, let's pick 3. Let's pick 3 things you're going to focus on. Narrow it down. Tighten the focus. Overwhelm, no more bandwidth. Yeah, it's happening because you're not staying present. You're lacking boundaries, which is something we'll get into as well. But so, so, so important to have those boundaries put into place. One of my clients, Michelle, realtor in Fresno, when we first started, she's a team leader like Kubi. She has a lot of people she coaches, and she was having coaching meetings every day of the week, all these random times. I'm like, what? Of course you're burned out. I'm like, pick 2 days a week when you're going to meet with your team. Don't start your day till 9:30 a.m. Oh, I could do that. You can do whatever you want. You set your schedule. You set the tone. So if you have a morning routine that you want to implement and you want more space, set the boundary. My husband, he's a newer realtor. He got a message from a lead at 9:30 p.m. And I know it's exciting when you're a new realtor and you get a lead, or even as an older realtor and you get a lead. And I said, if you answer that message right now at 9:30 p.m., you are setting the tone that this client can message you any time of day, anytime she wants, at all times. Wait till the morning and email her back. And took his phone. It's hard to coach your husband, okay? But I was right. He replied, the lead answered, boom, boom, he's showing. He didn't need to answer. Sometimes as realtors, we have this, there should be a sense of urgency in business. I do believe speed to lead. I get it. I've been in sales since I'm 16, but there's a fine line. Does that make sense? There's a fine line between overexerting and not having any boundaries. And when you don't have any boundaries, if you don't respect your boundaries, the people around you don't respect them. And then this is how your nervous system becomes more dysregulated and how you become more burnt out, right? Okay. Some other nervous system tools I use, I do visualization, I do meditation, I journal. If you're feeling really stressed out, really dysregulated, for those of you that said, 8, 9, 10, whatever, take out your journal or take a piece of paper and just brain dump everything that is on your mind. And then go take that piece of paper safely and burn it. It's very cathartic. Okay, guys? We all hold a lot. We hold a lot of emotions in our body. We have a lot of trauma. So, when was the last time you did that? When was it? Yeah, no problem, Darren. When was the last time you got out all your thoughts? I don't care if you don't, you could curse, don't hold back. Literally, just like it's called a brain dump. Dump everything onto this piece of paper and then burn it. Very cathartic, very helpful. And these are all like little random things that probably not thinking they help you regulate, but they do. So the third shift for your internal edge in 2026 is your alignment in health and in your life. And I'm going to be very blunt, as I am as a coach and a speaker, that your body is a billboard of your choices. People do not take you seriously until your body shows discipline. And I'm not saying you need to be ripped, have a six pack. That's not what this is about. This is the type of energy your body is emitting. People trust patterns and not just words. If you look exhausted, if you look unfocused or drained, it's sending a message to your client. It's sending a message to your audience on social media. You're all, I'm sure, posting. You should be posting for your business, right? It's sending a message. People trust patterns, not just words. And what is one of the most important things in sales? It's trust. Your clients need to trust you, right? When you're put together, when you're energetic, when you're glowy, when you're vibrant, it shows self-respect and you emanate a different type of energy. And that is a bottom line. There is no getting around that. That is it. It's a bottom line. And this is why I always say your body is your business card, because it is. What I want to know is why so many entrepreneurs don't treat their bodies with the level of love and respect that they do with their businesses. Would you show up to a showing or a meeting with a client unprepared? Oh yeah, I don't have the specs for the house. Sorry, I'm just going to wing it. I hope you wouldn't do that. But yet with your body or with your nervous system or with your boundaries, it's like, oh, whatever, it's an afterthought. Yet all of this internal stuff is running your business, right? It's time to start treating your body, your health, just like you treat your business. How you do one thing is how you do everything. You also want to build a body that can energetically hold the capacity of wealth you desire. Because if you're not working on these internal things we talked about, the identity, the nervous system, and you grow and grow and grow in your business, you like physically and energetically cannot hold a certain level of wealth. I know this because I've been coaching for 15 years and I've seen people grow from 20K months to 80K months and then collapse because they don't know how to hold it. Does that make sense? So working on that, all these internal things so you can expand as your wealth expands and know how to hold it as well. Be a little bit more prepared. So this can be like when I was a pharmaceutical rep, right? I told you guys I gained 40 pounds and then I lost it. I gained weight because I wasn't prepared because I was stopping at Starbucks and I used to live in New York. So it was like Dunkin' Donuts and all these things. Well, once I went through my journey and hired a coach to help me, I brought my lunch. I pulled over before going into a doctor's office and ate my lunch in a car. It's not that hard to be prepared. Be prepared just like you would prepare for a meeting. Your health will either be your business's greatest asset or greatest liability. Your health will either be your business's greatest asset or greatest liability. And as a realtor, yes, people are buying the home and they're buying maybe your expertise per se, but they're really buying the energetic experience of you, what they see on social or what they feel when they meet you, because there's a million realtors out there, just like there's a million coaches out there. They're buying an energetic experience of you. What energetic frequency are you operating at? And that's what I mean when I talk about alignment in health and life. taking your body and your health more seriously. This doesn't mean, okay, no, go work out crazy, become a bodybuilder. I hope you're all strength training. I hope you're all walking. I hope you can do 5 minutes of meditation a day, take care of your gut health, drink warm lemon water in the morning. I mean, we can go into all these little things, right? But at the end of the day, I can sit here and give you all these little tips, but that's why I started with identity because it's the most important piece. If you're not willing to work on the identity piece and change what's been holding you back and let go of those things, none of the little habits matter. To change who we are at the core first. Well, that concludes yes, go ahead.
I love everything that you're talking about. We met on Instagram briefly, but thank you so much. And I love all of these things like the lemon water in the morning, taking care of yourself. I'm very much into all that stuff. I think where I struggle at this moment in my life is like having those boundaries around protecting those things.
Okay.
So
Very
like any
topical.
tips on, because I'm like your husband, I get the text and I'm like, oh, I got to answer right now because if I don't, then they're going to call somebody else, you know? So like I'm trying to
Yes.
find the line of how to have good boundaries, but still capture the leads at the same time.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we can use that, excuse me, we can use that as an example. So it's 10 o'clock at night, you get a message, you get excited. You have to remember that the relationship with this potential client is ongoing, right? So
Hmm.
think about the energetic standard that you want for the rest of that relationship, for yourself and for them. Because, like I told him, if you answer in that moment, what energetic standard are you setting up for yourself? You're setting up a standard that I'm always available for you at any time. My morning routine doesn't matter. My evening routine doesn't matter. Basically, I don't matter. I'm at your disposal. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be that way. But the industry has made it feel, I believe, a lot that it needs to be that way for you guys. But I've coached so many realtors through this that they have stronger energetic boundaries and their business grows more because they don't burn out. You protect your time, no one else. You're in control of that. So, yes, you can still feel excited. Table it. Type up the email if you want and schedule to send or the text message you can schedule on iPhone to send the next morning, early in the morning if you like, but it's on you. Now, this goes deeper into a lot of times you said, oh, is someone else going to get the lead? Now, this is a scarcity mindset, right?
Hmm.
So now we're going back into identity. If that's what you believe, that's what's going to manifest, right? Oh my God, if I don't answer right now, someone else is getting the lead. No, I believe that I'm setting my energetic boundaries. I'm going to answer her in the morning. Thank you so much for reaching out. Blah, blah, blah. Move on. But if you're living in that scarce energy, that's what the universe is going to give you back. Right? If you're bracing, if you're tight, if you're like, oh, I gotta do the sleep right now. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. You will. Because that's
Yeah.
right. It's law of oh my God, I can't say the word. Reciprocity. Thank you.
Okay. No, I was going to say something else.
Yeah.
So is that the thing that I need to let go of is my scarcity mindset? Because I do think that is where I am
Yeah.
right
Well,
now.
that
I'm running
based
out of
on what you
money and
yes, based on what you said, that was like what I pulled out from it because you said, I'm worried, they're just going to go to someone else. So
yeah.
that scarcity mindset, which is deep, it's coded in you. We can go into transgenerational trauma. It's from your mom or from your dad or from their parents. I mean, this is living in your system. It's usually not just from us. It's from, everything that's happened to us, right? Or what we saw, what our parents did with money or whatever happened. So going deeper there and seeing the source, right? Just like you're aware of it. Obviously, talk about identity. You have a level of awareness, you're accepting it, but now we need to find the source of where it's coming from for you to work through it. But that to me was the biggest thing that stuck out. Because I feel like you could set the boundary, like physically, you could put your phone down and be done, but there's this scarcity mindset running it for you, which is then being projected when you post on social, when you show up for a client. That's what's underrunning your whole show.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
help.
thank you. Great question.
Angelica, I'm curious if you could hit a little bit more on the scarcity mindset, abundant mindset. When you talk to some of your clients about that, and you maybe sense that they're operating from this area, operating from this energy of scarcity. What are some things that you're having them work through, or maybe work on to grow out of that and into an abundance
Yeah.
mentality?
I will say it's not easy work, right? So I have a client, she's a realtor in Fresno she does really well, but she still feels like the money's going to disappear because this was the patterning she saw as a child, right? So it's working with her on feeling safe around money. I actually had her, I highly recommend everyone do this, write a letter to money. Write a letter to money. See what comes up for you. Don't judge yourself, just literally write a letter to money. See how it makes you feel. There are certain books I might have them read. We come up with affirmations, and everyone's affirmations are unique to them. Like, I mean, we're not saying money grows on trees. The affirmation, whenever you come up with affirmations, whether it's for your body or for your business around money, it has to really have a resonance within you, right? So definitely doing affirmations. I forget who said it. Was it Darren? Listening to, and I still do this to this day, listening to different affirmations, subliminal programming, where like you could be on a walk and it's just like flooding your brain. You can go to sleep with that stuff. But first things first is uncovering really where the scarcity mindset comes from. And then I'll teach on, and everyone, everyone's different, whether it's spiritual, religious, but, God, source, universe, there's an abundance, right? And it's talking to them about that and what they believe in, and knowing that there is more than enough to go around, right? Like look at the ocean. Like if you just look at planet Earth, just to get really simple here for a second, it is abundant. Look at the trees, look at the ocean, look at the planet we live on. There's an abundance of money. And I listen to the language they use, just like I listened to what Emma said, right? So it's different for each client, but it's really changing the way they speak and the words they're using and paying attention to that. So if you're someone who finds yourself saying, I can't, or I should, or I'll never be able to afford, or there's not enough, or I'll never be able to sell $1 million homes, you're projecting that into the universe. The words you have power. So a lot of like abundance and scarcity mindset work is on the words we're using. And then of course there's the subconscious thought breaks down, like what thoughts are running the show, breaking those down and seeing where they're coming from.
I have a question for you. So I believe in all this, and for years, anytime that I need change in my life, I go through this phase of pulling out my affirmations, recreating them, having a vision board, writing a future letter to myself, like doing all the right things. And then I will actually get the thing that I'm at. My
Okay.
affirmations work, like completely believe in all this. The trick thing, the funk that happens to me is like then all of a sudden I get it and I'm living that life. And then I go back into like bad habits of stopping all of it.
Mm.
Like I have little kids. So then all of a sudden I'm like,
There you go.
and
Yeah.
it's just like something happens and it just like triggers me to going back into bad habits and I don't and I stop. And then I
Yeah.
pick it back up again maybe like a year or two later and I'm like, damn, this is so great. It works so well. Like, why am I not doing this? Like, and then I stick with it. And then something, it manifests and it works and it does its thing. But then I like go back into it and I go through these like phases.
Mm.
It's like, how do I keep with it? Like, I
I
don't know.
got you. First of all, one question. Do you know your human design?
My human design. No.
Okay. I'd be curious for you to find that out. It sounds like you're a manifesting generator. Anyway, first of all, let's watch the words we use. There's no bad habits, right? Like because then you make yourself feel bad. So we don't want to shame
Hmm.
ourselves. You've
Yeah.
fallen out of the habits that are serving you at the highest level. That's how I word it, right? We always be
Yeah.
conscious of the words we use. The first thing I'm seeing and hearing is the looping, the patterning. You're like, I start,
Mhm.
stop, I start, stop. I know what I first say to you guys. I know who said I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. You know what to do, you're just not doing it. You know
Hmm.
why? Because in your identity, this piece of your identity for the manifestation piece of you, you haven't, you've teetered into embodiment. You're not in mastery.
Mm.
Mastery of something can take years, consistent work, years, but you've done it, you teetered, you're like, got it, and then you let it go instead of
Right.
keeping and doing it, right? So this is where you have to get real with yourself. There's a level of discomfort that you're going to have to sit through. You said, I don't know, I have kids. Okay, all my clients have kids. They run
Right.
businesses. They're seven-figure earners. It's crazy. They're like driving their kids to cheer comps through the United States. It's like you have to choose, right? Are you going to do this while all this other stuff is going around? Because life is always going to be lifing,
Hmm.
right? So it's in that choice, you're teetering between that embodiment and that acceptance. You've accepted it, you've manifested, but you keep snapping back to your old reality. Your old identity is like, okay, well, it's easier for me to not do this right now because my life is busy. But it sounds to me that you are aware and you do want to make this part of your reality where you just do it on a daily basis. Now, this where it comes down to let's have a path of least resistance. Maybe the way you were doing it before was too much, so much, it took too long. Can we just do it for 5 minutes in the morning?
Right. That's
Think
probably what I need to do.
Right. So I think we're making it so ridiculous because you're like, I was journaling, I was meditating, I was visualizing,
Right.
my crystals out, I was singing, I was chanting. And then it's like, okay,
Mm.
that's not realistic for me every day, girl. Like,
Right.
no. So like, can it just be 5 minutes in the morning? Sure.
Hmm.
Everyone has 5 freaking minutes in the morning to do that, right? And then let's say you have a moment midday where you have a little break and then you do 10-minute meditation or something like
Mhm.
that, right? So this is the difference between like consistency, and this is why people stall, because so many of us high achievers have this huge all or nothing approach. I go all in or I go all out. It's like, where's the middle here? Right? When I
Right.
travel, I don't have an extensive morning routine like I do at home. It's like a full hour. I'm up in here, my desk is full of crystals, like I'm going crazy. I have my Palo Santo, like it's a whole thing. When I travel, it's not that. It's like a 10-minute meditation. That's it. But I'm still doing it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
don't jump off the train. Stay on the train, even if it's just a smaller track. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then you'll be in the level of mastery because now you've done it for years, that when you don't do it, you'll feel weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
What were you going to tap into about being a manifesting generator? Because I am one and have had cycles of that in the past. And I've overcome what you were talking about too, Lauren. And it's taken some time, but I was
Takes time.
curious to
Yeah.
hear
Oh, I
deeper
was
on
just
that.
gonna say, because she said she listed all the things she did. So, there's different stages of manifestation. It's like declaring to the universe you want it, doing the visualization, and then taking aligned action, trust, patience. There's all these stages of manifestation. And it sounded like Lauren was doing them and she gets what she wants. And she's like, okay, cool, peace out, instead of staying on the frequency. But the ease, she said, like, it almost, the impression I got was that she easily manifested it. And that's typically a trait of a manifesting generator. I'm just a generator, so I'm like a work, 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 push, push, push. So
Yeah.
she's down to like a Maddie Gen. Like Maddie Gens can easily manifest, like very
Yeah.
easy. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not a human design expert. I just know I've dabbled a little bit. So
I love it. Yeah,
yeah.
same.
I just did a free one.
Oh,
It's
good.
pretty
What are
interesting.
you?
It says it breaks down to like 4 categories, but a time bender manifesting generator.
So
I'm
Maddie Gen.
sure.
Yeah.
Sounds
I don't
so
know what the
funny.
time. Yeah. So you're collapsing time when that's the thing with Maddie Gens. They can collapse time. They can manifest things quicker, shorter than just someone like me who's just a generator. We have to work harder.
I
Man, I
did
have
want
not
to
been utilizing this.
Mind your gifts, girl.
I've not been
tap
using
in,
this.
Steph, tap
I
in.
know.
Tap in, okay?
I did want
Um,
to ask
yeah.
maybe like what exercises would you give someone to A, pinpoint who my current, like as we're talking about the year of the snake and shedding those skin, like what exercise is there for us to be able to either list or write or figure out like what is this old version of me that I do not want to take with me into my new identity? And then same question regarding creating or clarifying the new version of my identity.
Yeah, that's a great question. Easy activity you can do. First of all, we're all very aware. We're all very smart. You deep down most likely know the pieces of your identity that are draining you. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what's one thing you would list right now?
Ooh.
Okay, if you don't want to say, don't just say, but we
For
all
sure, doing a lot of things. I like to do all the things. I am
okay,
someone that takes on many hats and many traits. Like I do too much. I need to focus on
much.
one.
So yeah, so overextension, right?
I'm the same
Overextension,
way.
lack of focus. Okay, so now you overextend. It's like an onion. Why do you do that? Where does it come from? And you're gonna have to sit
Mhm.
with yourself and journal this out because you want to know why. Is keeping you busy, keeping you safe? Is it making you feel worthy? Is it making you feel needed? Do you feel successful when you feel productive? So going a layer deep with yourself there. I was asked on the podcast this morning how I help my clients untangle their identity that's attached to productivity without losing their edge. And it sounds like you're attached to your productivity. And maybe you feel like if you aren't as productive, you may lose your edge. So I would ask you, and for permission to say, like, does is being productive your edge?
Yeah, I would say so.
You think it is.
I
Let's
correct. I think it
look at
is.
it. Your real edge is passion, joy, fulfillment, maybe seeing your clients that you coach slam a good one on the volleyball court, whatever it is. I don't have the terms.
Yeah.
Say
Mhm.
like that. So think about what your think about what your real edge is. Like guys, I watch football, okay? You think your edge, we think is high achievers, our edge is productivity, but it's not really productivity. right? We've just been attacked. Like that's how we grew up. For me, my parents were like, "Oh, you got good grades, you got A's, good, good job, we love you," right? A lot of us grew up like that. Oh, you hit this number in sales, good. Now you feel worthy. So inherently, our worth is tied to productivity, and we think that, well, I'm being productive and that's my edge, but that's not your real edge. So I'd ask yourself to go deep around that, and then to start to maybe have some words like every day, like my worth is based on this, or these are my edge. Like come up with some affirmations that feel good to you.
Mm.
Is that helpful? Okay. And then the other thing you can do just in general, especially since we are shedding Year of Snake and this is an easy activity for everyone, take a piece of paper, put a plus, put a minus. On the plus side, write down everything that is filling you up. This can be pieces of your identity. This can be people. This can be aspects of your work, right? What's giving you energy? What's bringing you life? You could say, well, this piece of myself where I go for a walk every day, that brings me energy. This person brings me energy. This aspect of my job gives me energy, whatever it is. Then on the minus side, what's draining you? And Antoinette, this would be good for you to do because what's draining you, it sounds like this lack of focus over producer is draining you. Slap that up on your wall, look at it every day, right? Notice in your day the pause. This is why enough of us, we just need to slow down. Because if you actually slow down, you realize, oh my God, I'm doing a million things, right? And as entrepreneurs, when we do too many things, when we dilute our focus, we dilute our revenue.
Mm.
So remember that.
Mm,
Focus,
that's good.
revenue, right? Overproductive, I'm diluting my revenue. And we all want to make more money at the end of the day. That's why we're here. Make more money in an aligned way, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but that plus minus is always very telling. And I think often we wait till like the end of the year to do it. I'm like having my clients do this all the time. Assess yourself all the time, like at the end of every month, even every week, right? Because we're always changing and things are always shifting. Where's my energy going? We don't even assess our energy. And then we're like, why am I so drained? Why am I so burnt out? Hello,
Yeah.
pay attention.
I have one more question. If there was one book that you could recommend or podcast that we
Yeah.
read or listen to.
For money mindset, A Happy Pocket Full of Money.
A Happy Pocket Full of Money.
For money mindset, and Kyle C's The Illusion of Money. I'd probably recommend that one first as an easier read. Kyle C's The Illusion of Money. Podcast, I personally love Lewis House because he's like all things mental health, abundance mindset, wealth consciousness. And I listen to him typically while I work out. Another thing, just if we're talking about abundance and scarcity, Kuvi, you asked, I tell my clients to listen to, when they're exercising, listen to a wealth podcast or an abundance podcast. Like I like music, don't get me wrong, I run with music, but when I'm lifting weights, I'd rather just listen to something that's going to activate my abundance mindset.
I do that too. I
Yeah,
feel like
it's
a
very
crazy
helpful.
person as I'm at the gym, as people are not doing that. And I'm like
Right.
listening
I
to
know. I
this
start
podcast.
laughing and people are probably like, what is she doing? But honestly,
Yeah.
it's helped me a lot because listen, no one's perfect. I have moments where I'm feeling scarce or stressed out. I'm like, okay, I need to flood my mind with more things and then making sure I'm writing out my affirmations. But if you don't feel it in your body though, affirmations do nothing. So that's why I say they have to have a resonance with you, right? So you need to come up with ones, or sometimes you may be listening to a recording or a podcast and I'll hear one that I'm like, oh yeah, that one hits. You know what I mean? 'Cause everyone's going to hit. When you hear something, if it hits on a podcast, take out your phone, put in your notes, and then write that in your journal or post it on your whiteboard. Like I have some on my whiteboard. Like, right, money flows to me in all ways, always. Money flows to me in all ways, always. Simple, right? I like that one. Yeah. Anyway, there's a million, but it has to resonate with you because if we don't feel things in our body, it doesn't create the shift, right? Any other questions, guys?
Angelica, if you so I'm some of the folks that are going to be watching the recording
Mhm.
are folks that might be younger in their career, and some agents that are on here are younger in their career as well. Like Gary's not even on a team yet, and she's got her license, and Emma and Isis have been on the team for about a year so far. Trevor's been on the team for a couple months now. Um,
Amazing.
and Trevor's still in college. So when you think about things like as a younger person in business and in life, there's a lot that somebody could be doing to start to take one step forward in this kind of realm. For somebody that might be feeling really overwhelmed right now with life, with business, with learning something new, and with all of these resources, where do you think they could start?
Well, and let's focus on real estate since that's what this is about. As a newer agent, I would say pick your niche. Who do you want to work with and why? I think that's really, really important. that'll differentiate you. What's your unique brand edge? Because this will help you stay focused on the type of clientele you want to bring in, on the type of content you're putting out there. That would be my first recommendation. And the second one would be to get a coach because there is so much information. And when I was newer, in my business, I did that as well. I think there's just an overload of information. And try not to, yeah, we just listed books and podcasts. Pick one, focus on one book you're going to read. Don't focus on too many things at once. Like it just gets overwhelming. Like Hubi said, there's a lot of information. So pick one area, focus on it, master it, move to the next. We think, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do this. If you're like, okay, I want to go all in on growing my YouTube for real estate, then do that. Don't get distracted by Instagram and Facebook and network events and all the things. I mean, as realtors, you should go to networking events, but like really go all in on that one thing. Go all in on that niche. Focus, focus, focus.
Perfect.
Yeah. Any other questions? Do you guys newer agents have any questions? You're probably like, this was a lot of information. It's a lot. But this is why this topic, the identity, the nervous system, the alignment, it doesn't matter where you are in your career, new. And I wish I had learned about identity in the beginning of my career because it would have saved me a lot of time in forcing myself. Sometimes in our career, we force ourselves to do things that aren't aligned. And I did that for a long time. And had I learned about this identity piece, I would have been like, oh, well, that's why I'm having an identity crisis here. Instead, I just push and push and push my way through. I wish someone had taught me this. That's why this framework is so important for everyone. Awesome, guys. Love the questions. And so you can find me on Instagram at the Angelica Ventrice if you have any more questions or need anything. Connect with me on there.
This is awesome. Angelica, before we finish up, I'm curious for our team, take a second. One thing that I love to do after meetings like this is post one takeaway that
Yes.
each individual had because everybody has absorbed maybe one thing differently than somebody else.
Post a nugget.
Yeah. So team, take a second, figure out what that one thing was for you that you're going to walk away with from here. Post it in two places for me. Post it in the Slack so everybody can see it. We can save it and see it later. And also post it in the Zoom chat so Angelica can see it too.
Yeah, I want to see it. And then also we need a group photo. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Yeah, let me see these nuggets. I know there was a lot of takeaways or quotes because Kuvi kept writing nugget, nugget. Love it. Setting boundaries is my new irreversible identity. Yeah. Love it, Trevor. Yeah, you get to decide that, Trevor. Of course, in the beginning, you might take on, a variety of clients because you're new. You just want to get those sales under your belt. But as you grow as a realtor, like you're gonna be like, this is who I love. And it's through trial and error. I learned that too. When I first started coaching, I was like, I'm gonna work with runners because I was a runner. And then I realized, oh, no, I don't really like coaching runners. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna work with women with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Nope, didn't like that either. So then I got one realtor client, and then I was like, this is my ideal client. So you got to stumble through, you know what I mean? The brain dump and light on fire. Yes, Isis. I love that. Do that all the freaking time. Walk in the energy you want to have. Yes, as if you're ready, the person you strive to be. Yep. Your boundaries up front set the tone for future relationships. Yeah. And working on that scarcity mindset. Focus on creating an abundance mindset. Clients feel your energy. Yep. The value of being a high producer. Yeah. The worthiness coming from the high producing, which is so common for all of us. It's hard. Us high achievers, we have it rough. Thank you guys. Love your energy and love the questions. I like to always leave time at the end for questions, and I think live coaching is so powerful. And definitely read that book. I've read that Kyle C's book probably 10 times.
The Kyle C's one was The Illusion of Money.
Yeah, he's funny. He's an ex-comedian, so like it's a really easy read. Yep, set up your identity and energy because that's what's going to pour into your clients and business. Yeah, focus on one thing at a time. Yeah, your body is your business card. Remember that. And as you transform, and I think it is Napoleon Hill who said this, remove all exits. There's no plan B. So as you're stepping into your new identity, no plan B. I wrote a post on this a long time ago and it did really well. There's no plan B, guys. When you're ready to grow and change and up level, remove all the other little exits. Team no plan B. All right, that's us for 2026. Team no plan B. Make it rain.
Thank you.
You guys have a beautiful day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you
Do
so
you
much.
want a picture?
Bye. Oh, I got one. Bye, guys.
Thank you.